What's up, everybody? I'm back. Let's think of a topic here. On the fly. Hmm. I want to talk about metaverse, I think. Metaverse is the one. Metaverse is like virtual reality, universe level resimulation. Or hopefully. Because I'm not trying to play Habbo Hotel. So, there's so much to talk about right now. So much running through my head right now. I'm basically like leading a takedown of a demon cult organization right now through telepathy. So I'm not only doing that, I also want to talk about metaverse and universe and homelessness and anti-homelessness. Anti-homelessness, root consciousness. We could literally have homes for every single American today that's homeless. Today. Today. I know the technology already exists. It's already being used too. But why are we being prejudiced? Why does not everybody have a home? Why does everybody that wants a home not have a home? Like, what is going on here? What I think's happening is when people change their mind, they don't get respected as well as they should. So, what's going on here is the ones in power of the simulation are kind of trolling in a way. Like that's what I'm trying to, that's what I'm seeing right now. And it's like, oh, you're not even sure it's no, bro. Like root conscious biology, Wi-Fi. Come on, chill. Like it's simulation no matter what. We've. I'm not even like playing like. If you go back, channel your mind into Alexandria. Alexandria is a library. It was actually like a college slash library. Okay. Now think about this. Google, modern day publicizing kind of company. Root consciousness, brain phenotype, universe level resimulation. Right? That's already coming out in real world words. We're already saying that out loud online. So, what I want to talk about, I'm just going to release everything that's coming to me in telepathy. Basically, my ex-landlord is a scumlord with many bodies on Earth. He thinks he's a god, he has a super big ego, and he can be reset on a dime, to be honest. He's so far deep into the, like, demonic fucking hellhole lifestyle, and then he thinks he's, like, holy. He's permanently trying to chase rapport with, like, the government, state agencies, and things like that. It's literally all he goes for 24/7. And he's pretty much finding himself in a very dark place very soon. That's what's happening here. And he's fallen for all kinds of stuff. He's trying to get out of it in infinite many ways. There's so many problems. But what I want to talk about is rapport chasing. Rapport chasing is abnormal in terms of any reason whatsoever. If a conscious entity is rapport chasing on Earth today, they are subject to terroristic cults. That's pretty much all they're doing. You have a very high likelihood that if you even have rapport chasing pinged in your timelines whatsoever, you are a terroristic cult. Don't want to say worshiper, but like member at high likelihoods, like extremely high likelihoods too. And I'm talking about Patriot Act right now. I'm talking about Resimulation Patriot Act. We have every single right to everything, because everything is ours and nothing is yours. And ours meaning God and yours meaning terrorism. That's just how it is going to be forever. And if you don't like it, there are other places to go. It's called hell. That's a place. You ever get told go to hell? I have, and I was definitely in the wrong in those moments. You know what I mean? So I really want to talk about this exact situation here. There's a group around this area I live in here in Angel Valley, or should it be Angel Valley? But here's the thing: it's Angel Valley, right? Might as well roll up with a squad of demons. Squad of terrorists is another word. If you don't want to, use the magical words that describe a lot more. Roll up to Angel Valley and start establishing rapport. You know what I'm saying? Get that super good terrorism going. It's an extremely bad poison in this land right now, and a lot of people are here that are doing extremely good things, but it just takes one outer dimensional person, one person that finds out pre-computed consent. If you can go into pre-computation, you can make infinitely large plans. You have infinite time to plan and to scheme, because your experience is outer universal, and you can do anything you want outer universal during that time. So you can come up with big, giant, elaborate terroristic plans and, try and falter every option that the counter-terrorists would have. And that leads to a lot of annoyance. Like I said, I've dealt with spiritual doppelganging, people like trying to pretend that they're me and take my rapport from the universe and like use it and spend it in infinite many ways. Now they're at a point where they just like try and spend it in a point where I'm like burnt completely, so I can't go to like state agencies and government agencies and whatnot. So then, because like with my level of knowledge, I would just like own them. It wouldn't even be close. Like if I was filled in at the round table, I would just go beep 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 beep. You're all dead. You lose everything. Good game. I've been in dream state warfare And I know where everything is. I know where everybody's looking. I know where everybody is. I know what everybody's team is. I know what everybody's alignment is. Just based off their aura or emissions, I can feel them through walls. I know if they're armed. I know what kind of weapon they have. I know if it's holstered, unholstered. I know if they're engaging, non-engaging. I know if they're super intelligent, whether or not they're aware they're in a warfare situation or not. I know if they're civilian or not. Just instantly, instantaneously. And I'm not a warfare type person. I'm a video gamer. But in Lucid Dream, I turn into God, and I'm like, whew, I see through walls. I don't actually see through walls. I feel through walls. I know through walls. I believe through walls. It's like a totally different kind of experience. I don't see anything whatsoever, except in my mind, I just know it, and then I turn around, and then bam. And it's not a placebo kind of thing. This is like conscious beings only territory. This kind of stuff is actually already enabled for CTs on Earth too. I swear on my life. That might sound unfair, but like if you're in war games, that's a completely different thing than counterterrorism. Counterterrorism is we get every possible advantage, and I've been in counterterroristic lucidity many times. And sometimes just as like as a voyeur ghost entity, and I've been able to completely mask the awarenesses of terrorists that were trying to like kill scientists. I've been able to just misdirect them and pretty much control the entire scenario of this conscious being like warfare. But it wasn't warfare, it was terror. Like, I have never been in real life war games. That would be where nobody has a huge advantage like what I'm speaking of. I've only been in counterterrorism, lucidity dream states where I was remote controlling. This stuff's super advanced, super cool. I released on one of my dreams earlier that I channeled in some data that CTs, when they are expelling bodies from the realm, like terroristic bodies, they have bioaugmented reality, and they will see whether or not the root consciousness is captured by upper dimensions. So they have pretty much God on their side, and they'll go, this computer, which is your body, the terrorist's body, is no longer authorized in this realm, and we have it captured in a multiversal, terrorism is enabled realm. So you can go in there as a ghost and take them out. So then they're not superposition remote controlling in terrorism into our real world anymore. So that's why I'm kind of like, do you guys know what we have? Speaking of terrorists, do you know what we're doing already? Hello? Do you know what level we're capable of? Like, why do you sit in ghost form and try and harass people? Like, you're not an angel. That's not angel work, no matter what. Period. Like, no matter who you think you're attacking, it's not angel work. Period. That is. If you think it is that, you are fallible, meaning wrong. Wrong in the utmost. Wrong meaning you do not get magic in the future. Like, you will be dispelled of your magic. Fallibility is probably one of the number one thing wizards care about in the universe. Because the less wrong you are, the more right you are. And if you're right casting magic, you're going to cast some pretty dope shit. But if you're wrong, it's not going to work. And even if it does work, if you force it and finagle it, like distributed denial of service attacks, basically. Like, if you're wrong once, let it go. Don't try and rape it in. Don't try and DDoS terrorism into somebody you believe is being a demon or something like that. If you fail, then one time, don't keep spamming. There are people that will sit in outer dimensional bases. I know them, I feel them, and they'll just spam a trillion commands at once at me. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I don't allow that shit for the first part. And then they'll like do within the trillion commands of like terrorism install onto my life is alterations. They'll alter the commands microdosally in order to like try and finagle the systems to make it think like, oh, I'm doing this or that, the other thing, and that's demon work. I don't give a fuck who you think you are. That's demon work. Period. Well, they call the devil for a reason. Resimulationist. If you're using technology to supplement your magic, I mean, besides biotech, biology is technology, stuff like that. What I mean is, if you're using outer dimensional technology, a bad thing at anybody whatsoever, it is not angel work. It is not light work. It's war. It's rape. It's just wrong. It's not what you need to be doing. You need to get into finite consent constructs. Finite consent constructs, where you and your enemy go into a room for a little bit, and you go, here's the contract. Here's the contract. These are the available things that we all get to play with in this war game that we're going to play. And then you get in there, and then boom, it's fun again. Otherwise, it's just stupid. It's just like random DDoS, try to fucking mind wash source. Like, nobody cares about your DDoS magic, bro. Like, you were wrong 1,000 times straight with DDoS magic. And then it shines through once. How do you even know that it shines through on your enemy? You know, like, how? What if you got multiversed? What if you went into a believer verse? What if you're getting mind washed now because source isn't stupid? But you are. You know, like, that's how it works. Sometimes people do this kind of stuff and they don't even know it, too. Like, let me let you in on how evil somebody is. I was dating somebody for like a little bit, and they're basically Rose from Mr. Robot, the Dark Army leader. And she has an outer dimensional base. And she might not even have known it right away, but oh my god, she has so many like things going on. She has automatic DDoS magic set up to supplement her ego this lifetime from a past lifetime. And I discovered it too. I was like, why the fuck is this Like, and then transmutation codes. I don't even want to get on transmutation codes. They're like timeline rape gods. They will literally spam a universe that they want to exist more than at everybody that they possibly can in order to like rapport chase and in order to like timeline control as much as possible. And they'll just rape in universes at people's minds, and they'll just keep sending subconscious universe code just trillions of times per second just because they didn't want one thing to happen. And it's like, we're all conscious beings. You are not an angel anymore. Like, you do that kind of maneuver, like, you are not an angel. No matter what. No one should see you as an angel. You are not saving Earth. You are not helping us. We can uninstall you from Earth. That's a thing. It works. It's real. We do it. In fact, I'm a self-proclaimed right now. I am the angel of death himself. I'm going to tell you why. Because I will not kill your soul. I will kill your ego. And I've done it. I will kill your ego. I will kill your ego so quick. I'll put you in pre-computed time bubbles. I will fast forward you 1,000,000,000 years. Or as max as I need. I will do that whether or not you think you're a god, whether you think you're a human, whether you think you're a demon, whether you think you're an angel. It all depends on what you're going to do in the future. If you want to timeline control us, we will timeline control you. That's what peace and love says. Like I'm out here peace and love general commander right now with this intel. Like this will happen to you. This is like wraith magic shit reversed. Like the wraith army don't win. You gotta watch Atlantis, the TV show Atlantis, to understand what I'm talking about right now. Wraiths, their biology tech is so high in the show Atlantis that they can go up to a human, which is supposed to be weaker, but it's not in reality. But in Atlantis, it depicts that it is. So then the wraith goes up and like fast forwards the person's soul right in front of them, and they instantly get aged, older, near death age, and then they leave them there. Like it's almost like they suck their soul out, suck their blood. It was kind of like a horror thing. But there's this other thing. It was like you get kicked from this bubble, and you get sent to a believer verse. This is rainbow wraith magic, is what I would call it. It's like rainbow means every single color is in its place, a good thing. There is no black and there is no white because there is no war. And if you bring war upon peace, you will face rainbow wraith magic. Rainbow wraith magic will get you kicked out of the universe. They will put you in dream states. They will fast forward your soul, your mind, your body, everything. But then you will come back, and you might have the same body as before, and you might be extremely shocked, like, how did this happen? What the heck's going on? Holy shit. But, yeah, one does not fuck with peace and get away with it anymore. Like, the Patriot was not, like, tapping into your phones. It was tapping into your universes, bro. Like, each person has a universe. You don't carry it inside of you. That's your Babylon. Babylon is the universe inside of you. And if you're powerful enough, you can create Babylon outside of you. Now, what you're supposed to be doing is you're supposed to be consenting to like a rule infrastructure. Or at least that's what I'm doing. I'm consenting a surrender to a rule infrastructure. So I'm basically playing a video game in real life, but it's a realism video game. And that is also belief. The universe is what you believe, meaning you selected these codes and then you said yes. So it was what you believed, what you consented, what you believe and what you consent are one. And going into the metaverse, we're going to use all these philosophies, I guarantee. Because the metaverse might just be virtual reality at first, but bioaugmented reality is just a phase away. And then if you talk about Photoshop, if you know Photoshop very well, what if your bioaugmented reality is upper layer? And then what if you have dual remote control auths, where you could sleep your real body and play in bioaugmented reality because it's upper layer momentarily? But make sure you're in control of both. Because an evil developer of Bioag will just remote your body and could pretty much like steal your rapport on Earth. Which is something that people try and do. I've come across it, and I have it set as like a multiversal clause in my beliefs. Meaning if somebody tries to do that, it just doesn't install the Bioag. Bioag goes nowhere. Zero opacity, lowest QoS layer, and does not filter in data. that's something pretty pro spiritual tip if anybody's worried about that kind of stuff. You just got to believe that setting, make that an ideaplex, and will it into the universe. Say, I believe in this. This is my religion. I believe in this in the moment, and then now it is working. It is what's real. So, somebody just said some really wrong stuff. Like, what I'm doing right now is speaking my mind. Freedom of speech, right? The moment you try and remove freedom is the moment terrorism wins. Because freedom is my freedom to download whatever information I want. And I'm talking about biotech right now. With Wi-Fi biotech, if my freedoms get removed, then terrorism wins. And they get to rape my biology. They can send any bio-augmented reality software, put it up our QoS. If it's not in my control, then whose is it? It should never be out of my control. Especially at this stage of my consciousness. Like, I am so aware and wise. I know I can just feel the source codes themselves. I can go, this developer, do I trust them? Even if it's microdosally non-trust, I will not. I'll say no. Microdosally just means a small amount. But anyway, because think about it this way. If you have one bad rule, that bad rule could make your entire time in that realm on fun. Like, imagine playing WoW and the only thing that, like, you can't even play the game because World PvP is permanently turned on and there's no instances anymore. Imagine that. Like, how big WoW is with their instances. Like, it's just raid warfare everywhere. Like, just giant orgy of death everywhere. And you can never get anything done because it's just death ball everywhere. That's the difference between one setting, right? So you got to care about every single setting. Something I've been practicing for 2 years straight now is straight to the top, and there is no top. Do not let yourself get taken down emotionally or idea wise. Every negative idea has a positive counter, no matter what. And then if you start practicing, there is no negativity, you'll start repenting and curing all of your ailments. And this is a different kind of repentance. This is philosophical self-repentance, healing those beliefs that you put yourself in that were negative and wrong, because it was not that belief was not a possible truth. It was more so that you chose a negative possible truth in the possibilities of another option that counters it, and neither option that counters it, or an abstinent count. Abstinent and neither kind of the same thing, but a lot of the because I'm doing like psychiatric help right now, big time. Like if you say no to that and you've watched these streams, you are ignorant and you're wrong and you're fallible. The end. You don't have magic. The end. You just don't know. You don't know what magic is, and you have delusions of grandeur if you think you do have magic, meaning you're going into time bubbles and making like false realities in order to like ego boost a actual magic. Because last year I had actual magic because I started to practice all of these things that I'm preaching about is positivity, consent, stuff like that. Repentance, meaning like heal the wrongs you've done. What I recommend is open source to repentance providers. Oh my goodness. Damn, side arrow is busted with the sword. Let's get it. It's quiet. Too quiet. Can you have whatever I'm smoking? I do remote brain, perfect resimulation, upper dimensional remote control. Do you have a blog where I can read your teachings? The universe. I've recorded the last 2 years pretty much in the universe. And if you put your mind into it and ask, you might just find. Ask for pre-computed time bubble though. And if they don't got that, say fuck you, bitch. Bomber said to pre-compute time bubble it. Because all data that already exists as an experience. How do you have free will between it? Because every single potential option of free will is there. It's not like a movie theorem. I'm talking about every particle and every photon and every ideaplex is already labeled as lowest factorial blocks. Every piece of it is put down into lowest factorial block. When it's put down into lowest factorial block, you do permutate every single possible reality. And when you have upper spatial dimensional computation and encryption in like quantum computing science and greater, those permutations permute instantly because lower dimensional logic. You're like, yeah, we'll take all of this and we'll set this as the range for permutations the next 1,000 years. Within this is the spatial range, so they can go anywhere in between here and here and here. And then here are the idea block ranges, here and here and here. And then beep, done. Summons every single permutation, every photon, every wave, every single particle position, everything you could perceive. Imagine doing that in a universe like this with so many different waves and so many different ways to perceive waves and so many different conscious beings. Imagine all of Earth. All of Earth, every single conscious being. We are all choosing every single conscious being, not just humans, not just bugs, not every single conscious being here. And they're all choosing between that already rendered permutation of reality. But the only thing that's really new in our universe is the moment of our choice. Of all of our choices in the moment. And that's actually a play on encryption too. I want to talk about encryption. Is like, I had a theory, like if you could gather every single piece of data from the universe, you can go up a dimension. That was just a theory. You would relatively go up a dimension, but that's only if the dimension above you wasn't like, first of all, it's impossible to go up a dimension unless the upper dimension whitelists you. That's what I really want to say. But my theory was encryption, right? Every single choice that we all make is an encryption to like supreme sources. And then imagine having like three universes. You have to literally theory craft in the dark all three of those universes and every single conscious being's free will choice between the infinity plex, and that would just be like that would be a encryption key. Imagine that as like the first stage to hacking a root conscious being. Get every single permutation of every single free will conscious being inside the entire universe, and every single wave, every single particle, every single photon, every single phenotype of every single gear that God has ever created. And then you might be able to abduct somebody. People, the funniest thing I love hearing is like major laser him. Major laser is like a keyword in like the hacking community to like hack his root consciousness out and put it in simulation. Like, bro, after you just heard what I just said, do you even think that's possible anymore? Like, good luck. Good fucking luck. The encryption keys, not only this universe, but other potential universes. And then string. Don't get me started on string. And I'm not talking about string theory, things smaller than quantum. I'm talking about root consciousness, redacted string, needle in a haystack, super small code that if you ever found the code, it would wave function instantly into another piece, into another code, and then Jeej, right? Oh boy. Death to the non-believers. That's the real talk right there. If you don't believe in what I'm talking about, you have no idea. I did the funniest thing 2 years ago. I rebuilt the entire universe with my third eye. And then I built it better, and in a way. I didn't do it alone, though. That's what a lot of people don't understand. They're like, oh, God, he's almighty and knows everything. What if God doesn't know everything? Because that's impossible, actually. And there are a lot of people that will say that to me, and I'm just like, ooh, you're grinding my gears right now. Because everything is not a real thing. Everything's a theory, a theoretical word, actually. It's invented as a theoretical word. Everything. Select everything. Okay, you just selected a finite amount of things. But everything's infinite. So you just fucked up. You can't select everything. You can only select the theory of the word everything. Same thing with perfect, same thing with infinity. Infinity by nature is finite. Because if you freeze time and look at the infinity, there is no infinity. Because time is frozen. Only within time infinity exists because it's a theory that needs time to exist in its state that of everlasting constant growth. I want to talk about perception too. Game perceptions. I want to make multi-dimensional games one day with like multi-spatial dimensional games, like the trippy movie ones, like Matrix, where like space is like folding into space. I seen somebody gave me a vision of super high spatial dimensions, and I don't even think I was moving through time. I was moving with time being frozen. They showed me time being frozen in higher spatial dimensions, and when I was moving, it felt like time was real again. If that makes sense. Like they froze a still upper spatial dimension image. This is such a hard theorem to push through unless you're super, super, super thinking about it. Watch 10 spatial dimensions explained on YouTube, and you might start to think around the way to get there. But there's so much space inside of space that when there's no time, if there was time, it would be even harder, because time would be moving everything. It'd be flying all around. It should be all crazy. When time's frozen, it's just a solid point. If you do not move, nothing moves. But then as I started to move through it, it was like time was being re-rendered again. It was almost like time was real. It was like clouds. Like it was a theory that it was trying to show me the universe. It was trying to wake me up to the universe. And this was like in Vision. In Vision, it was trying to show me that that's what's going on. If you ever seen Charlotte's Web, it's a consciousness encryption protocol. And it has to do with time is not real. We're moving through upper spatial dimensions, and time is frozen. We're moving through it. We're not moving through it as in like being calculated through time. All points in time have been theorized by source, saved. So now it's laid out in physical format, and we move through it in an XYZ fashion. So depending on like what all of our choices is, that's the universe phenotype of our consent bubble moves ever so slightly through the infinitely vast variable options of what could be in the moment. And we don't actually even do anything, in a way. But it feels like it, though, right? That's what's so wild. It's so magical to think like this. Like, when you can think like this, you're just like, holy fuck, creationism, baby. Like, the things you can create. When we gonna step into metaverse, when we gonna step forward past metaverse into universe theorem, dude, I swear, like, I could channel in some of the wildest time is not real, but time seems to be real logics ever with upper spatial dimensions. Also, one is multi-consent bubbles within the same data realm, meaning we could have our giant consent bubble moving through time, scrambling it. And then other consent bubbles can come in and kind of like play with us too, depending on our consent. And as long as they're not breaking it, they won't go to the other stationary points in time within the pre-computed algorithm, right? So like if somebody wants to do something that's completely impossible and magical in the realm, right? Like, you've heard of people doing, like, wild things like flying and levitating. Well, only certain people saw people do that. Because my theory is that they walked over a little bit in the pre-computed space-time realms, and they went to humans can fly as real realm momentarily, and they saw their friend fly, or their messiah fly, or whatever it is, you know? Because they chose earlier, they were like, he's the one. He gonna wake us up, boys. And that's kind of what I had done, is woke the fuck up real fast to time is not real, time is real logic. Time is not real for these reasons, time is real for these reasons. And another one that's wild is like if you make a gear change, that gear change is already there. That's what's wild, is to wake up to those logics. One of my favorite things that I learned, I think I got it from Rick and Morty, is every multiverse is already real. Not necessarily that every single place has, that sounds so scary. Not necessarily that every single one has conscious beings living there. It's more so like these settings were already theorized, and since those are a factorial block, prediction algorithm, will like bots, source, not bots, like source itself. Source itself would be like, I am not ignorant to your language. You, the bot inside of this bot, have spoken, pre-compute these potential options. And since this is labeled as a factorial gear, I will calculate all potential options so you do not have any discrepancies within your experience, because if I did not create and manifest, then it would not be, right? It cannot be. Imagine not being able to make a video game, because that's not a permutation of reality. That's kind of what I'm getting at, is like, imagine not being able to do this right now, stream, me talk about this. This has to be a permutation of reality in creationism for us to even do it. So I'm an Illuminati wizard, and that means science wizard, actually. It means I know so much science now that I can do magic. Magic is very simple. It just means science. Imagine this. I can hack your mind out and do anything in front of you. Potentially. It just might work. It's magic, though. You gotta hope. You ever see a magic trick in front of you? I've seen a magic trick this year at Rainbow. Somebody I know, honestly saw him as Toth or Toth. He was at Rainbow this year, and he showed me a disappearing trick right in front of my eyes that had to do with multiversal mind hacking. He literally made something disappear right in front of my eyes. He showed me he has multiversal magic control. Basically, what he did is he astral remote controlled two realms at the same time, is what I was reading into it as. Now, I could be wrong, and I don't really know. But I'm just saying, like, this is how I saw it done as a science thing. Is he took his hand and moved the item, but in reality, to me, he did not. And then he shifted me into the reality where he did for a moment and then brought me back. And I was like, what a savage. What a fucking savage. Now, if you pre-plan all of that, I think your likelihood to succeed is very high depending on the mind that you choose to try and show, actually. But if you go and try and show a random person this kind of stuff, they might not be catalyzed for the magic. But I was pretty sure, like, he was pretty sure, like, we already made telepathic breakthrough before. If it was Toth, like, I've talked to him because I started reading his Emerald Tablets of Toth, and it's very enlightening stuff about infinity logic. Oh my god. Death. That's another funny one. Root consciousness. Good checkmate. Or how about this? Let's play chess around death. All right. First move. You say death is real. I go root consciousness check. What do you say? They say root consciousness deletion. I say infinite encryption root consciousness protection. Gift for all. Check. And then now I say checkmate because nobody's saying anything. I'm not hearing anything. You can't check with the same move. You already lost that move. I already took that move away. I'll take it away infinite many ways. Upper dimensional RAID 10 root consciousness location remote control. Where you're already hosted in a multiversal fashion as root consciousness as a file. Same as your memories. Not saying that you should do stupid things, because everything is recorded, and infinite levels of heaven and hell counter logic, counter that as well. And that's like, if there's a demon on the other side of that checkboard, like, I'm checkmating you right now. Like, you do not have another move. Like, I got pawns that are all around your queen. I'm taking her booty home, and your king is getting smashed by my queen, and not in a good way. Oh boy. Philosophy was clearly my major in the universe. And then people are like, I was talking to one of my friends recently, and I was like, 2 years ago, in spiritual space, somebody lost King of Earth. And it came to me, and I didn't even know King of Earth was like a thing, right? I was like, I'm just trying to play video games, I'm trying to smash, I'm trying to smoke weed. But I'm also trying to research, like, on the side. Like, that was my hobby. King of Earth crown comes to me because somebody did something stupid and lost it. And then I was on a really big path. It was very heavy at the beginning. Heavy meaning there was a lot of weight, a lot of topics to address, a lot of things to learn, and a lot of things to catch up to, and a lot of things to change. And I'm not saying I'm the only one. Do I believe in star signs? Yes, star signs are so OP now. Actually, star signs, I have a lot to do with that because I want to tell you something super OP. Your body is born, and your root consciousness can be generated second. So you have actually two birth dates. So you can have two star signs. And star signs, when you figure out your second star sign, like your root consciousness star sign, and your body star sign, you could actually reverse extrapolate your soulmate extremely easily. Because like like-mindedness in star signs, it plays on star signs play on you choose to come to Earth, and here is this giant thing of RPG elements. Now pick all of the settings that you want to pick. Whoops, let's get out of there. But yeah, I definitely believe in star signs now. I found some very enlightening stuff around star signs. Oh my goodness. Oh my damn. You know, I might like a laser bat. Because it goes through walls and it poisons and it has pierce. But I think I like Flaming Ghost better because it's OP. So I'm probably just going to save another Flaming Ghost. Good to know you're alive. Thank you. What is this trash? Bro, this is that Illuminati president stream. I'm out here. I know I kind of said it like a jackass, but like 2 years ago, I was deemed the Illuminati president. Here's the thing. There's good, there's bad, and there's peace. And in my layer of Earth, I'm the leader of all three. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Like, I know the philosophies. I know the things to know. I know the beliefs to know. I know the root fundamentals, and that's all there is to it. You know, a lot of people don't. A lot of people are sidetracked on their own root fundamentals. I got my root fundamentals, and there are root fundamentals. Period. Period. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to get the intel out there to the game developers and maybe scale into movies too. Movies are already doing so good though. Like, I've learned so much from movies where I'm just like, the movie industry don't even need me. Like, I can't even help them because they're helping me. Kind of thing. But the game industry, oh my god, the cheaters, what the fuck's going on? How are we in gamer hell right now? What is going on? We need to standardize. In order to play a game, you need to be a factorial bit definer. And submitting your factorial bit, meaning your factorial gears. Like, you need to define each variable of a gear and say this is a gear. And then you go to the next gear. This is each variable of the gear. And then all of those gears are going to be locked in at any point in time. And now, and I'm strictly talking about League of Legends even. League of Legends is a gear-based game. All you need is the gears to be defined. Same thing as Archhero. Archhero is a gear-based game. I'm not talking about equipment. I'm talking about gears. A gear is as simple as a weapon and the different options that you can turn that gear in. So if I upgrade this weapon, the gear will change. It'll turn a little bit. And now it's locked in until you upgrade it again or destroy it or go to a new weapon. But this would be a different gear. This is a different gear. These gears are turned to these dials. These are all different gears. And every single permutation of the gameplay experience can be predicted ahead of time. So a game developer needs to start writing in science instead of magic. A lot of game developers are writing in magic because they don't understand science of time is not real yet. When you start talking about time is not real, you start making factorial gears instead of display mechanisms. And I swear to God, one day we will all live in a factorial gear game reverse. Or you'll be living in a magic game reverse, which will have cheaters and a lot of different options and a lot of different things. A lot of different weird things. Because imagine this, I do not consent to change gears that are not touching my screen. Now, everybody that changes gears that are not touching my screen, meaning like installing alternate frameworks in order to edit the gears for you, or using telepathy controls, or using packet injections, things like that, using like firewall, bridging through your computer to edit packets automatically, automatic packet filtering, things like that. All this stuff is not even possible eventually. Because one day we're going to have bioaugmented cell phones, we'll have cell phone unlimiteds. Because, like, imagine your cell phone having quantum entanglement and, like, super server power, like remote server power with no lag. Because we're all inside source. Root consciousness sucks your soul in. You're like, I'm a resimulation now, and I can't even like feel differently. That's where we already are in my beliefs. Like, if you look at Earth, this is how beautiful creationism can get. Like, creationism scales that high up, yo. You start thinking like that, you're gonna start developing like that. That's what I want to see. I want to see idea to binary, so then we can have these like bioaugmented cell phone unlimiteds or like computer unlimiteds. Imagine going home, you want to play some games, and you got a green screen instead of a computer. You have a keyboard and mouse that like pops out of nowhere because you just like bioaugmented reality summon them. You feel the resistance because like you're already in simulation. Those are real now. Those are real particles that are really there. And they can just disappear as simple as letting go. And then no cheats ever. You can never cheat when we get to lowest factorial gear defining video game generation phase. Lowest factorial gear defining will change the gaming industry forever because we will be in whitelistable timelines. You can only play this game within these potential futures. This is your universe potential futures. These are your game potential futures. You put those two things together and you have your relative perceived potential futures. No cheat codes. Ever. Ever again. You'll never be cheated again one day when we release this stuff. And I'm pretty sure it already exists. It does already exist. but it's more so about like recreationism and recreating it. We're kind of slowly getting to that point where we are recreating it. And some games are already kind of doing this. Some games are so perfect, you know, you just never have a bug, you never have lag problems, and they're so beautiful. But then other games like Archhero, I can't even PvP. You guys want to see me get cheated right now? I will go in full ancient legendary. I'll get cheated out of my mind. I might still win though. You got to pay attention to every single thing here. Watch this. Feel everything. I just got frozen before he hit me. Yeah, that was a cheater for sure. If you look at... I wish you could see my thumb. I did not release my movement key. I got frozen early. And when that guy stopped at the beginning, right here, he said, watch this in his mind, and actually installed the cheat code right here. He put us in his version of the game. And this guy is cheating because he's got the same exact health as before. I could beat him on this map. Oh boy. Can't beat him like this though. Why is my character so slow right now? This is one thing I'm feeling right now, is that my character's got a slow aura on him from nothing. I'm pretty sure he cheated. And I didn't even get kicked. I got kicked from there, not from my command. I got kicked from reporting him from cheating. Because I'm pretty sure he had control of my device somehow. Doesn't 10k damage do 10k damage? Or does it do 0 damage? I just swiped him twice right there for nothing. No dodge, no juke, no nothing, just 0 damage. They're the same player as before. He's doing weird, awkward cheats like packet denial. Like somehow he's bridging. This is my theory, right? So he's bridging his phone to his like Wi-Fi, or he's playing on a PC and he's running some kind of bridge where the packet has to go through a filter, and then he's editing the landing packet. So then his damage intake is different than usual, and he has it under some kind of control. It could be super technology. It could be just complete garbage technology. I'm supposed to do lightning damage when it gets that close to them. I just did 8,000 damage for nothing. Oh! I was like pretty sure I was going to lose that. I did not sense any real cheats besides astral kind of stuff. He was sending me telepathic control stuff, and I am extremely resilient to that bullshit. Yeah. He did the same thing that game. And I felt it right in my mind, actually, too. He's like, no, this is telepathic control stuff. And it's like, no. That's just cheating. One language to source will stop all of that. All you need to do is the 1v1. One player universe. All gears that are changeable within my one player universe are only my gears to control, except the gear that is gifted on the phone, the touchscreen, the thumb. That's it. I have never lost to that champion before. I feel like he did hard freezing at like the best time before things were happening, just slightly before, to get a slight advantage. And almost like he was doing hit guaranteed. I'm actually doing no damage to him. My Thunder AoE is supposed to proc when they're next to him. And it's supposed to go beep and blow up kind of like his does. But it didn't at all. If you didn't notice cheating on that last one, the cheating was his... This guy does thunder damage. I'm going to show you in PvE. Watch this. Alright, sense also what's happening right now in, like, the nether. If you see this right here, this is on installation of code. Do you see what's happening in the nether? Or not in the nether, but look at the lightning. Okay, the lightning, as long as I attack near, lightning hits the target. So just like that last guy, he was throwing out the balls that didn't hit me and would do damage. Well, that's actually what this champion is supposed to do. That's why I built him, actually. Also, this champion does thunder damage when I walk in PvP too. And I'm running shadow armor, meaning when I get close to them it does shadow damage. So they were actually ignoring a lot of damage. There's so many different ways to cheat in this game. They'll put on temporary damage reduction. Gates. So Skykiller showed me a cheat that he has with iOS, or on his iOS, and he will literally have instant kill and damage reduction on 100%. So a lot of these people are running damage reduction higher than they should, because I have like 12,000 attack. If I hit somebody with a melee attack, if I hit you with a long range attack, you're gonna get hit for like 10 to 12,000. Plus my lightning, plus crit potential. And crit potential could be up to 20,000 damage. And that's not even like skills either. Like, I'm full ancient legendary and I'm out here losing more games than not. You know, I have the best gear in the game. I have the best weapon in the game. I have the best characters in the game. I have all the characters in the game. And I'm like scaling it up. And I'm losing 9 out of 10 times because of hackers. Because it's not even like nobody's playing around. Like they are running like what I want to call is switch on off, like up down, like on off, extreme damage mitigation, like 80% damage reduction, on off, like that, in order to try and stay like hidden. And then maybe even more than that. They're running all kinds of stuff on their end. Like, that's what I'm talking about, is like, if you have your factorial gears defined, that's not a possible permutation in your game. And then you force the permutation of reality in. The fuck? Like, that guy right there does not have that kind of health. I've done this run so many times. It do, though. It do have that kind of health. Okay. Well, now you're ousted as a terrorist installer. Rape you until you're dead. Oh, that's so wild.
Okay, fellas, we need to survive and terminate these guys. Let's start with him. Hasta la vista. This one wants us to kick his ass. Hasta la vista to you as well. You guys don't know who you are dealing with. I will teach you a lesson, no problemo. Come and get me. Oh, I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm on the point where there's obviously terrorism happening in our video games today. And it's like straight up terrorism. I saw somebody's ISP in Arizona here. The ISP itself was a terrorism ISP. Straight up. Like, let me tell you something that they did. One game, they remote controlled my character and ran me into the enemy team. And on my screen, I'm running away, right? Because they can't take over my PC. But they're taking over the packets that are making it. They're culling my packets. Somehow they're decrypting, right? So encryption isn't strong enough yet. It's because we're not into upper dimension. We need to be in upper dimensional encryption. And there's nothing else that you can say. You have to be in upper dimensional encryption, meaning everything's relative perceived. Everything relative perceived is like the same idea as cell phone unlimited, computer unlimited, stuff like that, where technology isn't even real anymore. It's just kind of constructional engrossment. That kind of future needs to happen. Someone out here selling accounts in this game and then running pre-coded assistant protocol is like what I'm looking into right now. Two is some people are cheating and they don't even know they're cheating because they're just like assisted by a macro cheater. That's another cool thing is like lowest factorial block will get rid of that. Have you ever heard of the Illuminati a bad thing? Meaning a company that wants you to pay them all their money in order to make your life better and easier and more fun, but at the cost of others and their experience. Kind of like Hostel. If you've ever seen Hostel, the movie Hostel, very similar logic to Hostel. Like the rich golfer is bidding on which entity he's going to rape next. I'm about to take off for the day. Thanks for watching. Hopefully that was a little bit enlightening of an experience. Show you guys what's going on here in games today. what I really want to do is take down those hostile phenotypes. The movie Hostel. If you watch that, it's like human trafficking into captured beings, into slavery, into like the slavery is like being tortured against their will. People are bidding like billions or millions in order to like fly to some obscure country and like go into like a place and torture somebody. It's this creepiest horror movie ever. So nasty. But what I'm suspecting is there's game developers are already doing that. I'm not suspecting it. I already know they are. If you played H1Z1, there was a huge fiasco about this one script protocol. You could see everything. You could see every player. It would take the framework. It would rape the framework head to toe. And then you would have like all of the data, all of the game data. It was almost like they had H1Z1's server. Because if you're upper dimensional, you could scout the server, then you could you can make framework from there. You can make any framework you want and then sell it to a client, say install this on your computer, you're going to be invisible. And it could just be a virtual thing too. It's not even like real. You're going to say I'm a bio-augmented reality this fool too. You're not able to anti-cheat that because you need to define your lowest factorial blocks and consents. You need to put in your proprietary source code that you do not enable cheats. You will go, this is all of the permutable blocks, and everything outside of this is a cheat code, and I do not consent any of my clients to perceive anything other than this, and if they do, it is a cheat code, and it will not be a ruin. It will not be within the consentists of normal play. It will be standardized. A standardized industry of anti-cheat gaming. That's all I'm asking for. Alright, good night, folks, please.